and the boys were sitting around drinking. We was talking about things that we was thinking, when all of a sudden what comes out of Bill's mouth? Said, I'm getting old and fat and slow, and I don't recover like I did before from nights of rabble, rousing and too much fun. Well, I looked around and we all agreed, and I had a drink and I ordered 3, and I staggered back to do it all again. Then we made an oath on a rum and coke with the best intention, I'm sure you know, that we would stop this living in excess. We're gonna have one more party, one more special occasion. Do it Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, holidays and weekends. We can have one more party. There's more hell we should be raising. One more party now, one more party tonight. Well, I got home about 3:15 that afternoon. She was waiting for me, all dressed to kill, and headed out the door. She said, see you later, baby, I'm going out alone. You can watch your kids, you can answer the phone, but don't wait up, cause I'm staying out all night. Well, I got real nervous and I started to shake, and I got the point she was trying to make. I begged her not to go.
So it's another windy day in Saskatchewan. So for this episode, I'm going to show you what we do to irrigate our trees, because we haven't had any real rain forever and the wind dries everything up. So here's a look at what we have. So to start, we have just a hose coming from the house. Now we have this split, but I want to get something that's a little more higher flow to let more water get out to the trees. Normally this hose just runs underneath, and what we get to is this guy right here. So this way I can disconnect the hose, run it wherever. Right now we got it right into the back where we got our big watering thing for the pigs and the chickens. Run it across the driveway. Now we are going to want to trench it out. What we've got sort of right now, it's not really working. We got these old fence posts we run it through. We had a few of them, but they keep on moving every time we drive over. So we got this big plastic one, but again, every time we drive over it, it kind of shifts. So we got to move it every single day or every time someone drives. Walk all the way out. We are planning on one day putting in, trenching in some hose or some line to actually run a hydrant. And what we're going to do is we're literally going to trench a hydrant to here, hydrant to the coop, and another hydrant over there, because that's where the garden's going to be, and we want a whole nother set of trees. Now we originally planted about 300 or so. As you can tell, there's no damn trees. So the big thing of why they didn't grow, they didn't get any water, because Saskatchewan didn't get any water. Great place to live. So here's what we made up. Kind of made my own little manifold. Because it's so big, what we wanted to do is just be able to run one line at a time. So we got a line running here, then there's another line running for the front row, because we actually got 2 rows of trees. Set a nice Colorado blue spruce, and then we got a bunch of carriganas, the lilacs, and some, there's not really any other trees that survived. But what we do is, so the water will come up, it'll hit this first point here, and I got to cut off there. So when I shut that guy off, just like this, I'll only run to these guys, and I'll just have one at a time, and I'll let it run for like pretty much overnight kind of thing, get the ground all nice and wet. Then when I want to switch, so like I can turn on the one, we'll run it. When we want to switch, I'll turn on the next one, kill this guy, so it's just one at a time. Then when I want to go water the next one, just shut these guys off, open this, same thing to down here. Now, for the actual holes, because my neighbor, they actually bought this neat little system where it had a little big hose like this and a little one to go to each tree, but the gophers ate them all. So to avoid that, all we did is we literally just drilled a hole at every tree. Now what I'd recommend to everyone, because we don't have pressure to make it all the way down, for the ones closest to the manifold, if you're going to do the same thing, drill smaller holes. Because what happens is too much water gets out the first one, so the first trees, it'll spray like all holy hell, and it won't actually get to where you want. So the first ones, try to drill some smaller holes, and then if you need to go bigger farther on down the line, then that's what you do to let more water get out. We use too big of a hole at first, so we're gonna probably just get some like rubber, like old bicycle tire tubes and some hose clamps, and we'll plug up the holes that we don't want, drill some new ones, and that's what we're gonna do. One quick point, so we used for the hose, we actually, to go along the line, it's it's just plastic PEX. It's an inch outer diameter, about 3/4 inch inner diameter. Not too sure about the outer, but the inner is definitely 3/4 inch. When you are getting your fittings, you cannot just, if it's the brass fittings, you can't just use regular 3/4. Here's what we had to do. So if you see here, I got these nylon right for that. The nylon screws in, and this here's 3/4. So the plastic, if you get just the brass ones, it won't fit. And I promise you, you will not be able to clamp it down hard enough to actually stop it. They ended up coming off. I used some electrical tape as as a bit of a spacer. When it gets hot, it just slips. So make sure you get the cutoff. It says it's 3/4. Just make sure you find the nylon ends that screw in, and then it has like the shark bite on the end. Slip it over, hose clamp it on. I haven't had any leaks since. Now the other thing I had to do to try to MacGyver to get it to hook is to go from a garden line up to all this plastic. So what I ended up doing is just finding this piece, because these threads are different than any of the other regular threads. Your garden hose threads are different size. So what we essentially did is underneath all this tape, so I ended up screwed it on as tight as I could and used good old-fashioned JB weld. That tape was just on there to keep, while it was still kind of curing, to keep all the dirt and all the other stuff off. But it's great. I haven't had any leaks yet from it. So just make sure you fashion something, because these threads are going to be different than any of the regular threads. So make sure you're doing that. This was sticking up quite a bit, but as time goes on, sun heats it, it starts to fall down. All this hose is going to be really stiff, and it's not going to kind of lay where you want. But over time, as it's laying flat, it'll get a lot better. The sun will kind of heat it up. It'll kind of mold into place where you want. Other than that, that's pretty much it for how I water my trees. I'll show you how it actually, when the wind isn't so high, what it actually looks like for when it's spraying out. And you can see what I mean about having to drill smaller holes. Alright, so as promised, we're going to do a quick demonstration of the actual watering so you can see what it is. It's not windy as all living hell, so it's not so ridiculous outside. Just another reason why we need our trees growing now, because it has been super windy this year. So, all set up. Turn on the water. Nothing's leaking. Our rat dog, serves no purpose. I guess the kids like it. So, like I said, we just hook it up there, make sure it's not leaking. Come across to our janky road crossing. Pretty much what I have to do, at least once a day. Put it in place. This is one of the better hoses. It has not been perforated by a 22 round as a casualty in the constant war of gophers out here. We won't do too much video on that for all our vegan friends. Not that I think there's any watching this, since we're raising animals for food. But a big thing we checked, there's no leaks. No up here, like I said. This thing works pretty good. There is no leaks coming out. Just a hose. This is just pretty much piece here, something you'd actually put onto your house. A little bit of extension, has that flex. And then since these threads are different than any of the other pipe fitting threads you're gonna find, we just put the JB weld, and it's been holding fine. So right now what we have set up, closed, open, open, closed. So it's just gonna come down to here. Now like I said, the first hole's maybe a little bit too big. She's shooting way over there. One of the things I do, just try to make sure it hits some of the tree so it'll get at least some water there. We'll usually water overnight, so it'll just kind of soak the whole area. Kind of helps the grass grow too. But some areas are better. And this year, it actually does make it all the way down. But where it's a lot more noticeable why you want to start with the smaller holes Let me get back over here. So it's really easy when I'm doing it. Kill that guy. So I'm gonna turn this one on. Just start to sputter up. Blow out all the air. I got a stick there to kind of stop it. So yeah, you can see like she really comes out. If I was to plug it, you just get that much more. So maybe smaller, for what I recommend, start small, go bigger. Don't be scared to start too small, just get what you want. Because we definitely don't go all the way down. It works out not too bad though, soaks the area pretty good. We had a little bit of rain, so everything's really starting to come up now, which is nice. But you see like later down here, she's just kind of sputtering out. Still got to put a few more holes in, but I kind of don't want to do it because I'm just going to lose that much more pressure. Then when I get down to here, there's nothing come out. When I let it sit all day, it'll eventually kind of pressure up a bit and it'll kind of dribble. But I've still got that much farther to go. So that's something for all, just food for future thought. So in a nutshell, that's my tree watering system. Like I said, we want to set some up to kind of go along with the trees we want to put back over there. Seems to be working pretty well so far. Big things to note, just remember, different size threads, brass and plastic are different sizes. Start with small holes, work your way up from there. Other than that, thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe. We've got a lot more projects that are always on the go, and I'm going to be filming all of them. So if you want to see one way to do it, not necessarily the right way, then subscribe, and thanks for the watch. You know, make sure you send me some comments. I'd be more than willing to hear what you have to say, have any improvements, and that's about it. Talk to you next time.